Something sinister is going on at the southern border of the United States. We've all heard it. We've all heard what they say about the migrant camps at the border, right? The right wing doesn't talk about it because it doesn't seem to bother them very much, despite their extreme fascination with protecting unborn, pre-developed infants, right? That's a little odd. But we all hear, what AOC has to say. We all know about the protests. We all know that Mike Pence just went there, right, and made some comments about how bad the smell was and then proceeded not to do anything. Comments of our president at this point about AOC and Ilhan Omar about going back to their countries. Oh boy, right? Uh-oh, folks, this is a strange time we're living in. But I want to read you an article here, and I think it might be a little heavy-handed, but I think it's always great to look back at history, right? And maybe the more, not necessarily things that are always evident in the narratives, that we learn in school, right? Maybe a little deeper dive into more nuanced things. I love history. I'm gonna sell it to you, I promise. So this is from the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. It's an article about the history of concentration camps from 1933 to 1939. And I just want to read you this first section here about the first concentration camps in Germany. The first concentration camps in Germany were established soon after Hitler's appointment as chancellor in 1933. In the weeks after the Nazi came to power, the SA, commonly known as the Stormtroopers, the SS, protection squadrons, the elite guard of the Nazi Party, the police and local civilian authorities organized numerous detention camps to incarcerate real and perceived political opponents of the Nazi Party. German authorities established camps all over Germany on an ad hoc basis to handle the masses of people arrested as alleged subversives. The SS established larger camps in Oranienburg, north of Berlin, Esterwagen, near Hamburg, Dachau, northwest of Munich, and Lichtenberg in Saxony. In Berlin itself, the Columbian House facility held prisoners under the investigation by the Gestapo until 1936. So what this is saying is that the first concentration camps were ad hoc facilities. There's a picture here of an early concentration camp from 1933 or 1944, which is just a boat with a bunch of dissidents on it. That's pretty analogous to what's happening here in the United States. And if you deny that, you're just being disingenuous. That's rather fucked up, right? That's pretty fucked up, people. I don't think I need to tell you twice. Right, the right has maybe shed some attention on these sorts of things, that these defensive detention facilities have been operational like this since under Obama, and maybe, even before that, because what people don't like to tell you is that migrant numbers reached their highest levels during the Bush administration and then proceeded to decline during the Obama administration and then proceeded to go back up under the Trump administration. So something strange is happening there. I think we're witnessing conflicting interests, right? And I don't think either of them are particularly happening for the right reason. These camps are horrendous, a blasphemy to everything that is moral and ethical. The fact that this is allowed to be, I don't need to preach this to you, but you get it. How does this relate to things like Trump's comments on AOC, Tucker Carlson's recent racial ramblings, active racism in the mainstream? And this is, I think, the result of the perversion of identity politics. And a lot of my progressive friends will know that identity politics are dangerous. They're very dangerous because while they can be used to identify social wrongs, right, to extrapolate particular causes of poverty, for instance, in certain communities, fight against those, it can also be used in a very negative way. And that's what we're seeing happening with the right wing right now as they get increasingly more desperate. They are running out of options, it looks like. And in doing so, they're turning to a very drastic place. We saw that rally in Washington, D.C. the other day I think it was a July 4th rally. There was a lot of big name folks there. I'm not going to name any names. A lot of the right-wing sources I watch discuss, they kind of gathered in secret. So there's a significant silent movement kind of shifting around, not to be an alarmist or anything, but it seems to be the last gasp of the American right. Especially as they're being increasingly more deplatformed. They're going to have to turn to physical gatherings, which means they're going to be a little harder to track, and they may start to do something drastic. So we need to find some way to re-enfranchise those people, re-illusion those people, and then we can start to awaken them, to what's going on our border. We're going to need a large coalition of people to make some substantive change in the coming time. So bear in mind that this is not looking good, and we are on a steep precipice here. And I'd like to leave you with a sound bite from quote, self-described campus conservative YouTuber, streamer, Nick J. Fuentes. Just listen to what he has to say about the Democrats. Take a listen.
I have to say it on the show. I think we've really driven that point home for any, basic conservatives saying we just need more policies. Rand Paul suggests we just need an economic freedom zone surrounding Garfield Park and Humboldt Park and all these different areas. How about we just have people that aren't shooting and killing and stabbing and stealing? I think we know who they are at this point, and I'm not afraid to say it. We know who they are. Nobody will say it, but I will. They are the Democrats. And unless and until we get these damn Democrats to behave or get out, the country's just going to turn to a big, fat, stinking shithole, right? That's our future. So